Hey everyone, this is J-Dog, and I'm here with another video. First of all, I want to give a shout out to everyone who is a part of my critic site strategy. That's the strategy where we create accounts on these different critic sites like IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, and then we put our own score. And then we determine the score, audience, or tomato meter score of certain projects that either we like or dislike. Whether we give it a bunch of good reviews to help increase the approval rating, or give it a bunch of bad reviews to give it a terrible approval rating. And here's proof of how the critic site strategy can be used against people that are against us. Like I said before in previous videos, and I even might do more videos in the future, when it comes to media, one way to help control the narrative through the media, especially to help benefit our community, is critically, meaning we don't just create our own film productions or television shows. We don't just finance ones that we approve of or watch what we approve of, but also we're responsible for the critical review and approval rating of certain shows, whether we like them or dislike them. Same with film. You see that documentary, the one-sided Leaving Neverland, who unfortunately won an Emmy for some kind of creative arts Emmy. Well, that was the documentary, of course, that talks about the liars who said that Michael Jackson abused them, but we know that that's a lie. And luckily, so did the people who were responsible of making an impact in the audience score. Even though critics gave it so much good reviews that it went up to a 98% approval rating, the audience, meaning including some who are part of my critic site strategy, fought back, and to the point where we caused the approval rating to go extremely down to 25. When I made my own review, Michael Jackson is innocent and this documentary is trash, this is my review, and this is my rating, which is a very 1/2 a star. It went into the score. It was at 28% disapproval, meaning it's not a good review. I'll show you later about the rules of Rotten Tomatoes, or you can look at my older videos from the very beginning of my channel that also talked about the critic site strategy. But this was at 28 when I made this review. And now, when I'm looking back at this, it's now at 25% because more people showed up to give it a negative review. If more of you who happen to come across this video keep giving it negative reviews, sign up an account on Rotten Tomatoes and keep giving it negative reviews, we can get this score going even further down. Now, here's kind of the reverse. This time, the critics hated Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones because he was telling the truth about a lot of things. And I really liked this special. And so did the audience score. So we actually fought in support of Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones. And this is my review. The comedy was great and spoke the truth. And I gave it a 5 stars. It got put into the audience score. And along with other people's positive reviews, it managed to get up to a score of 99%. this is what my critic score strategy can do. And now I know some of the reviews are from people who are not part of the critic score strategy, but combined by those who are participating in the critic score strategy, as well as, including myself, as well as those who are just supporters of Dave Chappelle, the audience, the people are fighting back. This is how we can control the narrative. Because don't think that Hollywood, these celebrities, these movie directors, writers, and producers, this can even force some of them to change how they make certain films and shows about things. Because don't think that they do not come on this website or others like it, like IMDb or Cinema Score or these other critic sites that I'm doing my critic site strategy. They look at these reports, these reviews. Another thing is you also got to look at the different, this is the critics, and then over here, what I'm about to show you, this is the audience. This is us, the average, everyday, average Joe, average Jane. This is us, the audience. We, those people, including us, determine the audience score. These people determine the tomato meter, the critic score, the tomato meter. Now, you probably want to know about the different approval ratings. Alright. Let me see, I think this one. Alright. See, when an approval rating is above, now this is the audience score, this is the critic score. When a critic score from the critics approval is 75 or higher, this is either TV show, documentary, movie, etc., it gets this a certified fresh. If it's at least 60 or above, even if it's not at the 75, if it's at least above 60 or above, it gets, or 74, anywhere between 60 and 74, it gets this little tomato right here, which could be either good or mixed reviews. It's bad when the score is below 60, which is 59 and below. That's when it gets this splat. This is the critics. The audience is the bucket of popcorn. As long as the score is above 60 or above, it gets the popcorn. The red bucket popcorn filled with popcorn. Delicious popcorn. But if it's below the score, below 60, then what happens is it becomes this green bucket, spilt popcorn. That also determines that a lot of people dislike certain projects. Now, to determine a score is these stars right here. And then you submit right here after you put whatever amount of stars or half the stars you want to put on here. 5 stars, of course, is the highest score. Half a star is the lowest score. And then they'll total to all the people who sign up on Rotten Tomatoes, look up all the scores, and that totals to see what is the approval rating. This is what... Notice that the audience fought back against the critics on both these movies. It's critics versus audience. We, the audience, fought against Leaving Neverland, and then we fought for Dave Chappelle. We became Dave Chappelle's allies. And we also went against the biased documentary that was against an innocent man who is no longer alive. The King of Pop, Michael Jackson. But this is what happens when people come together and fight for something, no matter what. Remember, those people, those different people who have accounts on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience came together to fight against movies like Captain Marvel and Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Even though a lot of critics were coming together in support of it to get the approval rating of the tomato meter up, the audience, those who disagreed with the two movies, came together as one, put as many audience scores, and they were able to deal with it. Then you also had the people who, on movies like Bright and Venom, the critics bashed and tried to destroy those movies, but it was the audience who fought back for them. And we can do this. And I think we should. I think more of us in our community should start using sites like this and sites like IMDb, because it could, we could keep saying we don't like this show, we don't like this movie, or we do like this show, we do like this movie. But then the media, the mainstream media, will just go to the Rotten Tomato and only go by the score. But if more of us show up, we can actually have our voices heard just by using these sites and show whether we like the media or dislike what the media is doing, especially when it comes to us in the black community. That's why I decided to create the critic site strategy. We can help use the critic site strategy to control the narrative on certain things that goes on. Our voices can be heard this way. I mean, when you had that Captain Marvel incident, they tried to change some guidelines. But I heard they kind of didn't. I heard they kind of did. But that tells you the power of our voices. Or the power of people's voices in general. I'm not saying whether I liked or disliked the Captain Marvel movie. That's another story. But I did go against the Leaving Neverland Ministries, the Leaving Neverland miniseries, and I did support Dave Chappelle's Sticks and Stones, because I figured that that was something I needed to do. And you can put on the comment section, leave your comment in the comment section, or whether you want to join the critic site strategy or not join the critic strategy. I really want to know what really in the comment section. Want to know what y'all think about this critic site strategy, if you're doing it or not. Just leave your comment in the comment section. But I think this could be something that can help us out. But that's all I got to say for now. This is J-Dog. I might do more videos on this, maybe even help show you how to use it. Although I could show you a little how, just remember to use, and then you go to submit. They usually go by, now here you can make comments in the comment section of this thing if you want to, but the real scoring comes from how many stars you put on here. And then you hit the submit, and then it'll join all the different people who made critic reviews. But that's all I have to say for now. Like I said, leave a comment in the comment section if you think it's considering joining the critic site strategy. That's all I got to say for now. This is J-Dog. Thank you for watching. I hope to check y'all in another video. Peace, everyone.